self-reliant and Atmanirbhar Bharat is going to be the key feature as far as the Indian economy is concerned, and how this will also bring new investments opportunity. The MSMEs he spoke about has been the key sectors that have given a major boost to the economy. So certainly what has not been done by the previous government is now being done by the Modi government.
It's very interesting. It also, like we were discussing, it comes right ahead of the festive season where, in any case, every year, there is hope that the consumption increases with this income tax reform, the GST rationalization. The government would be hoping for a big boost. But Padmaja, it also comes ahead of the Bihar election. And that's where, when the Prime Minister spoke about the kangi, the toothpaste, the soap that you use, that lower end of the FMCG market, those products, the Prime Minister, in Bihar, the government would be hoping that the FMCG companies are able to give the benefit as soon as possible so that it is seen having an impact on the ground.
No, everything. Whether it's the FMCG goods, whether it's your food items. When he says Bachat Utsav, the audience, and he says गरीबों के लिए है, महिलाओं के लिए है, छोटे व्यापारियों के लिए है. So this is not just about people who are going out and buying, vehicles, are saving on SUVs. आपकी जो रोजमर्रा का सामान है, अमिताभ तिवारी, political impact of this, and the fact that before the rollout happens tomorrow, everyone knew, and that's what we've been discussing, everyone knew this has already been announced, but for the Prime Minister to come today and reiterate, underline the importance of what is happening tomorrow. Do not believe that India is in a bad shape. Do not let the voter sentiment sag in any way by whatever Donald Trump is doing, whatever has happened with the H-1B visas, the atmosphere being created. Is this a direct message saying, don't let your spirits flag at this time? Amitabh Tiwari.
Yeah, I think it's a direct message to the Indian populace that believe in yourself. India has always been a domestic demand-oriented economy, correct? And there is a demand for India from, let's say, needles to aircraft. So we are also not only buying needles, but also ordering the highest number of aircrafts in the world. So what he's trying to say to the people of the country is that don't get bogged down by geopolitical tensions and Trump tariffs, etc., without naming him directly. We have sufficient stamina to absorb any geopolitical shocks. The government has given a Diwali sort of a bonanza wherein there has been a reduction in essential items as well as all other items of consumption. If you see the rural demand, earlier 56% of the things were either 0% or 5%. Now it is 75%. Even for urban households, 50% of the goods were earlier falling under 0 or 5%. Now this increases to 66%. So including the direct tax benefit. So that's why he added the income tax benefit already given in the budget, where income has been exempt up to 12 lakh, and the GST reductions, 2.5 lakh more money is likely to be given to the people or likely to be left in the hands of the people, which they can use to spend and buy. But he's also giving that when you're spending, buy from MSMEs, small manufacturers, buy local, correct? Don't buy perhaps imported items, etc., so that it kickstarts a multiplier process in the economy. The demand goes up and MSMEs and industries start investing in capacities, then create jobs, and it automatically kicks in.
And I think the catchphrase in all of this, let's bring in Vasudha also, the catchphrase is going to be Utsav, Bachat Utsav. In festive season, don't think ki kya kharabi hai, what's going wrong with the country. The catchphrase here is Bachat Utsav, go out, celebrate, don't let any kind of negativity drag the country down or anyone's mood down.
As Vasudha. The Prime Minister said, sabka muh meetha hoga, Vasudha.
That's right. Exactly.
That's right. And also, I think the Prime Minister taking ownership for all these reforms, because the public memory is really short. A lot of us remember what happened during budget session, but of course, he says that reforms have to be evolving, and it's an evolving process. And he has been bringing up these reforms from 2014, 2015 GST to, of course, the exemption in income tax to now finally the GST. Padmaja, like you were also pointing out, this is a sign of testing times. The Prime Minister did not bring up the kind of tariff pressure that we are facing from Tirupur garment manufacturers to shrimp farmers. There is a certain sense of uncertainty across the country, and I think the Prime Minister's message also reflects a sense of reassurance that the government is looking out for them. So he's telling the consumers that, I am making it affordable for you to buy stuff that you want, especially if you belong to the new middle class, because I've helped you I've helped you come away from that poverty. But he's also telling manufacturers, he's also telling the MSME sector that you have to produce goods, you have to manufacture products that are world class in nature. So clearly, a double-edged message for consumers, shopkeepers, vendors, and specifically manufacturers. And more importantly, the new mantra that it is going to be Citizen Devo Bhava from now. Clearly, focus on consumption, but at the same time also increasing the quality of our products. So a large boost, a psychological boost.
The political reactions have started coming in already. This is going to be very interesting. This is a political speech. Underlining it, Ankit, the political importance of this, Akhilesh Yadav already coming in.
Akhilesh Yadav, in fact, we'll just play this out in a short while from now. But Akhilesh Yadav, speaking about GST as a bad law should not be implemented again. And he's also, saying that the relation with America is deteriorating. Something that we've been underlining that at least the attempt is with Swadeshi, with Atmanirbhar, that don't look at what other countries are doing. Believe in yourself. Go on your own.
This is going to be a tug of war. Look, the opposition is continuously going to say India की position बहुत खराब हो गई है. देखिए हमारे ऊपर अब इतना सारा जितना आपकी industry है वो बंद हो जाएगी. भले से वो textiles हो, shrimps हो, all of these industries are going to be impacted. Work are going to lose their jobs, and the Prime Minister on the other hand will keep saying, don't worry about it, we are going to intensify our domestic manufacturing, nobody has any reason to worry, we'll cushion the impact for you. So it's going to be a very interesting political tug of war now.
It will also be a little difficult for the opposition. While the Congress wants to claim the credit of the GST reduction, we told you 8 years back, and if you now go on attacking, it will be difficult for them either to claim the credit.
You told us, but you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
In fact, the introduction of GST itself, the number point why you cannot rubbish Akhilesh Yadav, sure, he's saying it's a bad law, it's bad in principle, but if the Congress has it, it's a bit of a problem because Mr. Chidambaram's brainchild was GST.
Absolutely.
You said we're going to bring it in, you kept saying we're going to bring it in, you eventually didn't bring it in, and now when Modi has brought it in and has reformed it, you can't say it's a rubbish law.
True. So that is exactly what I'm saying. So the day these rationalization came in, the first reaction of the Congress was Rahul Gandhi has told this rationalization 8 years back. Now they can't come and say that, this is rubbish because this is exactly what Mr. Gandhi wanted or the Congress party wanted and this is exactly what has been done. But
earlier as channels we used to do impact stories. Now Rahul Gandhi has taken over that mantle. He's like, this is my impact story. If this has happened, it's my impact. But what the Prime Minister actually said, how he laid it out, talking about Mahalaya, talking about the festive season, a reaction, I think, coming in from the Trinamool Congress as well. What the Trinamool Congress has said, let's lay it out for our viewers. The first few reactions from the Samajwadi Party, now from the Trinamool Congress. TMC says Didi is the one. So everyone now fighting for the impact mantle as well. It's not an impact of the BJP. It's not the Prime Minister's move. First, you had the Congress. Now you have the Trinamool Congress also saying that we force the government's hand.
We were talking, Amitabh and I were talking just before the speech, and this is the problem that the opposition would face, that you can't ask for something which is a low-hanging fruit, which the government can actually do. Now, you can't claim credit to it because the government says, we will do it. And once the benefit of the GST starts percolating onto the ground, this is what I think they are preempting, just to say that if there is some relief, remember, we asked for it earlier. But that's the fight they would be fighting. And same thing is going to happen for Bihar as well, that we have been asking, we forced the government to do it. But, I think in the end, it will be difficult to take credit for something which the current government is doing. And once the people start getting the benefits under the current regime, it will be very, very difficult for the opposition to claim any sort of victory, at least as far as this entire GST rationalization.
And how did the Prime Minister underline what is going to happen, how it's going to make a difference to you and I? Let's listen into him again.
मुझे इस बात की खुशी है कि दुकानदार भाई बहन भी जीएसटी रिफॉर्म को लेकर बहुत उत्साह में है। वो बहुत जीएसटी में हुई कटौती को ग्राहकों तक पहुंचाने में जुटे हुए हैं। बहुत सारी जगहों पर पहले और अब के बोर्ड लगाए जा रहे हैं। साथियों, हम नागरिक देवो भवः, नागरिक देवो भवः के जिस मंत्र के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म में इसकी साफ झलक दिखाई देती है। अगर हम इनकम टैक्स में छूट और जीएसटी में छूट को जोड़ दें तो एक साल में जो निर्णय हुए हैं उससे देश के लोगों को 2.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा की बचत होगी। और तभी तो मैं कह रहा हूं ये बचत उत्सव है। मैं देश के कोटि कोटि परिवारजनों को नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स की और इस बचत उत्सव की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। ये रिफॉर्म भारत की ग्रोथ स्टोरी को एक्सेलरेट करेंगे, कारोबार को और आसान बनाएंगे, निवेश को और आकर्षक बनाएंगे और हर राज्य को विकास की दौड़ में बराबरी का साथी बनाएंगे।
Joining us now, Anshuman Magazine, Chairman and CEO, India and Southeast Asia, Middle East and Africa, CBRE, and Chairman of CII, National Committee on Urban Development and Housing. We also have Shrimi Chaudhary, Bureau Chief, NDTV Profit, Rajat Sethi, Economist, and Santosh Mehrotra, Senior Economist, joining us along with Sajjan Kumar and Amitabh Tiwari also here with us. But I want to start with you. Mr. Magazine, the fact that the Prime Minister says this is going to be a Bachat Utsav, do you think that this is going to change the mood on the ground where there's a little bit of pessimism, especially given America's moves in the last few days?
I think it will make a difference. The fact remains, if India has to have global leverage, we have to become a large and big consumption economy, right? One of the reasons that today, if we have to have leverage against America or anybody else, India has to become a big consuming market, which means there'll be more investment happening. People will be catering to the Indian market. The problem right now is, whilst we are a large country, we have consumption, we are nowhere close to international standards of, or even other larger countries like China, where the consumption is huge. So answering your question, the GST reforms is definitely a positive move, is a big welcome move. It will stir consumption, which is really required. And I think this is a great news pre-Diwali and this season, and it's going to make a difference on the ground. It may not happen overnight, but in next few months' time, I feel this will stir consumption in our economy.
Okay, Nasir Salim is also with us. Nasir, we were discussing this earlier. What the Prime Minister has said is expected to give a big thrust in the upcoming quarter. From the festival season onwards, there are still 2 quarters left in this financial year, and the government would be hoping on the back of this Bachat Utsav a lot more spending by the consumer. Not only just the mood, but of course the whole revenue, side of the government of the spending by the consumer is going to be on an upward path.
Good evening, Ankit, Padmaja, once again. So, clearly, I think there are 2 key points here. One, that the revenue loss to the center is about 48,000 crores that was announced because of this GST rejig. I think the multiple is very, very simple, Ankit, Padmaja, that, the government is looking at a multiplier impact on consumption boost to happen, which will eventually sum up higher than 48,000 crores of loss till 31st March. Now, there are the other 2 important factors here to note is the Prime Minister also mentioned in his speech about MSME. And MSME also is, well, you have to accept it. They are the engines of employment generation in an economy like that of ours, of India. And what it does basically is, it gives you employment, has a lot of aggregation of push of manufacturing. And therefore, one of the most important points and aspects that I must tell you on your show is that there was a structure which has been done away with, which was the inverted duty structure announced in the GST rejig, which basically means that all working capital money that was stuck in MSME in terms of cash flow is now available to them on the go.
Okay.
And I think that also somewhere will make sure that the consistency of cash flow continues to bring in consumption, employment generation, and production to propel the economy, or so as to say the consumption space to pick up more than what is expected.
And if that starts happening, that'll be music to the government's ears. I'm sorry I have to interrupt you for just a second because Member of Parliament from the Congress, Tariq Anwar, is also joining us on the phone line. Tariq साहब, सबसे पहले आपका रिएक्शन, बचत उत्सव शुरू हो रहा है, कहा है प्रधानमंत्री ने।
हो तो रहा है, जो काम बहुत पहले हो जाना चाहिए था वो अभी हो रहा है। 8-9 साल के बाद वो काम किया जा रहा है। 8-9 साल तक लोगों को प्रताड़ित किया गया, देश के लोगों को, देश के बिजनेसमैन को, छोटे बिजनेसमैन को, और अभी जाके उसको संशोधन किया है। विपक्ष से लगातार कई वर्षों से इसको आवाज उठा रहा था और कह रहा था कि इसको कम किया जाए। ये जो गब्बर सिंह टैक्स लगाया था उसको खत्म किया जाए। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री की आंख बहुत देर से खुली है, देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है।
तारिक साहब, अब तो जैसे आप पहले कह रहे थे ऑपोजिशन ने और कांग्रेस ने ये डिमांड उठाई थी, तो अब तो ये गब्बर सिंह टैक्स नहीं रहा होगा ना सर? पहले था गब्बर सिंह टैक्स, अब तो एग्जैक्टली जैसा आप लोग चाह रहे थे वैसा ही टैक्स इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है।
नहीं तो वही तो कह रहे हैं कि बहुत देर से आंख खुली हमारे प्रधानमंत्री की। ये काम 5 साल पहले हो जाना चाहिए था। बहुत सारे स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री, मीडियम इंडस्ट्री, घरेलू इंडस्ट्री सब बंद हो गए इस बीच में। इस गब्बर सिंह टैक्स की वजह से उनको अपना बिजनेस बंद करना पड़ा।
अजीबोगरीब स्थिति यह है तारिक साहब कि आप कह रहे हैं कि ये पहले खत्म हो जाना चाहिए था, ये हमारी वजह से ही अब आंख खुली है सरकार की। अखिलेश यादव तो कह रहे हैं कि आज भी बहुत ही गलत है ये कानून, जीएसटी होना ही नहीं चाहिए इस तरीके से। तो हम किसकी बात माने?
जीएसटी जो किया गया था वो लोगों को आसानी पहुंचाने के लिए किया गया था, ताकि उनको आसानी हो, लेकिन उल्टा काम हुआ था और एक तरह से लोग प्रताड़ित हुए हैं पिछले 8-9 साल तक।
तारिक साहब, एक तरफ आप कह रहे हैं कि आपने लगातार बोला, राहुल गांधी जी ने बोला रैशनलाइजेशन के लिए, ममता बनर्जी की पार्टी भी यही कह रही है कि ममता दीदी के कहने पर हुआ है। तो अब ऑपोजिशन में कौन तय करेगा कि किसने सरकार को बाध्य कर दिया ये जीएसटी रिफॉर्म लाने के लिए? एज
ए होल इस बात की मांग लगातार कर रहा था और ये कह रहा था कि इसको खत्म किया जाए, कम किया जाए, इसको एक रूपता दिया जाए, लेकिन वो हुआ नहीं।
ठीक है।
और आज ये भाषण जो प्रधानमंत्री ने स्वदेशी का दिया, उसमें एक बार भी महात्मा गांधी का नाम नहीं लिया।
जी,
स्वदेशी के तो सबसे बड़े पैरोकार थे वो तो महात्मा गांधी थे, महात्मा गांधी का नाम नहीं लिया। ये 2 अक्टूबर से ये काम शुरू होना चाहिए था।
जी, Tariq Anwar साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। That was the Congress MP Tariq Anwar, essentially reiterating what the Congress has been saying ever since the announcement was made by this government, that this is something for which the credit goes entirely to the Congress. Gabbar Singh tax is what the country had been subjected to over the last 7 years, the last 8 years, and these reforms are a result of the sustained pressure. But Sajjan Kumar, what do you think the voter is going to be thinking today after he's heard that you have over 2.5 lakh crore being saved, being put into the Indian economy? Essentially, they will think that this is a government which is helping me out. First, you made it easier for us to save money thanks to the income tax slabs that you rejigged, and now with this.
Yes, and also multiple welfare schemes in terms of the cash and other discounts and freebies that is reaching out. So we club all the three: income tax and then GST reform, and then the welfare schemes in Bihar. Welfare schemes in terms of the Vridha pension scheme going up to 1100, and then you have 125 unit of electricity being provided. Jivka Didi scheme giving 10,000. So that way it's a package, right? And what is if you deconstruct Prime Minister's Budget Utsav, he is speaking about Utsav at a time when the common drive is to spend, because it's Dhanteras, Deepavali, you have Navratri, it's a festive time. So Prime Minister is giving a behavioral push And he is also giving an economic psychology of the lower middle class, of the APL, above poverty line segment, and perhaps a segment of the BPL also. So when the cash is going into the hands of the poor households who constitute a bulk of Bihar, certainly you will find that a significant section of them will go to tier 2, tier 3 cities, and you go to rural areas, the V marts, D marts. They are the bulk shopping centers where you will find these segments being represented. So FMCG, then second-hand durables in the household. So during the festive season, we are already sensing that 6 months back, everybody would have told you that it's the open-ended election because of Nitish and etc. etc. Now you go there, these combination and policy outreach has already started resonating.
It's important you say that, because very frequently the charge against the NDA and BJP in particular is that you are only dealing in issues like, communal issues, issues about Pakistan. You're not really answering the issues that matter to the common man. But this is as basic. How much money is being put in your pocket? This is a direct message to people of the country, including Bihar. We've got Mr. Saravanan of the DMK and Riju Datta of the TMC joining us. Mr. Saravanan, sabka muh meetha hoga. Yes. Everyone's going to get a little bit of sweetener this festive season. Has the Prime Minister managed to sweeten up the opposition, especially you?
See, the question would be why the Prime Minister did not want to sweeten up the 2024 Diwali. Why did he not sweeten up the 2023 Diwali? Why he did not sweeten up the 2020 Diwali where people were suffering from COVID? So where did the money go? If they can do this now, why they did not do it 8 years back? So where did all the money go? Why did the Prime Minister allow the people to suffer? Is this the kind of Prime Minister we want?
Actually, Mr. Saravanan, over the last 8 years, also a number of small rejigs have happened in the GST structure. I think Rajat Sethi might want to come in on that. So it's been done periodically. It's not like it was done 8 years ago and now it's been done in 2025. Rajat Sethi, would you want to quickly address that? Because a lot of people say, why did you let India suffer for the last 8 years?
This is unbelievable. I don't go by political speeches when it comes to economics discussion, but I'll make an exception here. See, GST is not Prime Minister's whole soul. It doesn't come under Prime Minister's office. It is a federal organization where consensus-driven decision-making is done, and all the states and their finance minister sends their representation onto the GST panel. Everybody has to agree together and come to certain nuanced understanding of way with which consumption-based tax, which is GST, should be levied. I don't understand where is this your and mine GST's formula comes in when the opposition starts speaking. I was listening to Tariq Anwarji. He says that Gabbar Singh tax has resulted in people losing out on shutting up their businesses. Can he give me any data point of any sector where businesses have been shut because GST has come? I mean, Prime Minister categorically brought out an example of Financial Times, which was printed and published in around 2013, where this foreign company which was manufacturing in one city couldn't send the goods from one city to other city in a different state in India. They had to take the goods back to their country and again ship it. This was the reality of what the original Gabbar type taxes used to exist, octroi and all of those checkpost based taxes used to be. Can you imagine entrepreneurs trying to do business with those kind of crazy systems? It was unbelievable.
Okay, so can I maybe get like Mr. Saravanan to quickly respond to your entire explanation, Rajat Sethi? Just give me a second. Mr. Saravanan, if you're still there, what do you make of this, what Rajat Sethi has said?
See, he says it is not the Prime Minister. Then why is the Prime Minister coming and now announcing this? As though it is his own brainchild. And anybody who understands how the GST Council functions, the state does not have any right. They may have a seat in the meeting, but they don't have the vote. The union government has the veto. I don't know why somebody is coming here and spitting out nonsense.
Mr. Saravanan, actually, to be fair, it was first announced by the head of the GST Council, which is Nirmala Sitharaman, the Finance Minister, and today it has been reiterated by the Prime Minister as a sort of festive greeting saying, listen, we've already ushered this in, it's going to start tomorrow, so well, here it is.
And can I also add, Mr. Saravanan, when this was announced by the Finance Minister, she said, all states, including the opposition states, are on board with this rationalization and these reforms. So your finance minister would have also given his consensus or his go-ahead as far as these reforms are concerned, sir.
Hello, yeah. See, the problem is this. The states' views are steamrolled. The union government has the veto. Do you know how the GST Council functions? If you don't know, don't blabber. If you don't understand
okay,
how
Mr.
the GST
Saravanan,
Council
clearly there has
functions,
been a sweetener, but haven't sweetened you enough. You at the beginning, let's cut out the the language. We don't need to be offensive to each other. It's literally the first day of a festive season. No one's blabbering, but please continue. I want to bring in Riju Datta after that.
Yeah. Live.
Okay, we seem to have lost. Seem to have lost Mr. Saravanan there. Riju Datta, more money in pocket. 60% makes for a happy voter. That after Bihar, we are going to have Bengal next.
No, I'm not worried. I am actually happy today. Happy because from 2022, my leader Mamata Banerjee has written to Prime Minister Modi to remove the GST from the health insurance and life insurance. And finally, the government has taken note of it. And the Prime Minister has announced it, which is a huge discount and a huge thing for the common people. So you have to give the devil its due. Even when it is due, you have to say that yes, good work has been done. But rather than, blowing the Prime Minister's trumpet or patting on the back, when the dollar has gone through the roof, where gold for 10 grams is more than 1 lakh rupees, where unemployment is on an all-time rise, it is the job, pardon my French, but it is the job of the bloody government to do what is necessary. So they have done what is necessary. Good. It is good. It is going to be beneficial for the people of this country, and this GST removal from health and life insurance will be beneficial to the common man. But it should have been done earlier. But chalo, der aaye, durust hai.
All right, Mr. Datta, thank you for speaking to us. Shrimi, our colleague from NDTV Profit, is also with us. Let me very quickly go across to her, get a reaction from her. Shrimi, tomorrow the markets are, going to open on Monday. This is going to be a very, very important boost because there are some sentiments as far as the H-1B visa is concerned, especially for the tech sector. With this push by the government on the consumption side, it is going to soothe some of those nerves.
I'm sure because, however, the decision were made, almost a fortnight ago. So more or less, market has anticipated and factored in the GST cut. But important point here is that we are now moving to, two slab structure, which is a much simpler structure from the existing structure, which has four structure that is 5% and 18%. And the important noteworthy point here is that how this is going to boost consumption, which is, of course, one of the area which, at least the economic ministry, like finance ministry, has been, working towards it. And it has seen some drag, at least in the first quarter. And with this kind of GST cut, where you're putting 99% of the item, which is currently in the 12%, is going down to 5%. And in fact, most of the items in your consumable item, like your ghee and parotha, is going exempted from GST, which was earlier in the 5%. And even your luxury item is going to be flat 40%, which is currently attracting cess. So definitely it will boost consumption for sure, and that will be reflected in the market, is what the anticipation is.
Okay, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, President of the BJP in Kerala, is joining us and senior leader of the party. Mr. Chandrasekhar, already the Congress, the TMC is saying, Der aaye durust aaye, but it could have been done sooner. Why did you not give the happiness, this sweetener to people 8 years ago? Why wait so long? They're still angry with you.
First, let me respond to the Congress with a deep laugh. I think they're making fools of themselves every day. They had 10 years in the UPA to do all of this magic that they claim, the magical powers that they possess. They did nothing. They instead took the economy into a precipice. Look, let's be clear. Today, after 10 years, we have the fastest growing economy, the fourth largest economy. This didn't happen by chance. This didn't happen through a miracle or a snap of a finger. This happened because of 10 years of decisive policy making, hard work, determined hard work, and a real focus on transforming India into a globally competitive, globally efficient economy. And that one very big component of the policy making was the GST policy. The vision of our Prime Minister, which he outlined today in his speech about how he wanted one common market, how he wanted to make it easier for small businesses. All of that has essentially helped and contributed to today's booming economy, today's fourth largest economy in the world. Look, none of somebody tweets between two holidays in Vietnam and Thailand, or somebody posts some fancy social media post or makes a fancy presentation. This happens because of decisive hard work, and that is exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 10 years have exemplified. That there is political leadership that is determined to work hard, that there is political leadership that makes these policies and implements it absolutely sincerely, and then when the fruits of those policies start kicking in, he takes it to the next level and gives you next-gen GST, which is going to make almost everything that a common man consumes levied by 0% or 5% GST. So it is exactly what he promised in 2016 when he spoke about GST, that when GST settles down, things will become much more affordable to the people of the country, and that's exactly what he's delivered. Look, this is an example of what multi-year policy planning does for the good of the people. And that is exactly what our country needed after 10 years of the UPA, and that is what we have got with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
All right, Mr. Chandrasekhar, thanks very much for speaking to us. A 20-minute speech of a Bachat Utsav, the GST dhamaka that was brought in by this government, GST Reforms 2.0 at daybreak tomorrow. They kick in, and the Prime Minister, the government saying that this is our opportunity to push more money into the economy because it's going to benefit every single person in the country.
All right, that's all the time that we have in this edition. Thank you so much to all our guests for joining in. Now, of course, the focus would be how easily can all this be rolled in and the benefit could be passed on to the consumer ahead of the festive season. Thank you so much. We'll be back after a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
The world's defining stage. Leaders, visionaries, decision makers, confronting the challenges of our time.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने।
NDTV World Summit 2025, Edge of the Unknown, 17th to 18th October, only on NDTV.
Rajasthan is history, culture and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux. From conflict to India's crowning glory, I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Pulling us into this country. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights,
Real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I
or
hold
CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है। सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। NDTV इंडिया पर।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. And now, Aditya Rajkol begins a new chapter at NDTV.
Actually, I'm taking off because the stories I cover don't sit still. To bring the world to India and to take India to the world, I need to be where action is.
Aditya Rajkol, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay.
Good evening. Thanks very much for tuning in to the special broadcast on NDTV 24/7. I'm Padmaja Joshi, and yes, the Bachat Utsav has started. The announcement made by the Prime Minister when tomorrow morning GST 2.0 kicks in. What does this mean for you, the consumer, and politically for the government? We'll talk about that and more. Let's get started with the headlines. Prime Minister's Diwali Bonanza, GST reform sweetener for Indians, GST 2.0 kick in tomorrow morning. A big Swadeshi pitch from the Prime Minister as well asks citizens to buy products that are made in India. Says self-reliant India is the need of the hour. Whatever can be made in India should be made in our country. India and Pakistan set to lock horns yet again in the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup after the massive handshake row. Over the last few months, we've seen politics continuously from the opposition saying that there is a downward trend when it comes to the mood of the nation. First talking about a surrender when it comes to Pakistan, then saying that the government is weak when faced by a bullying America, and then talking about the economy not being in safe hands. But the Bachat Utsav is here. The tide seems to have turned with the GST 2.0 reforms being brought in by the government, and that coupled with the tax savings that the middle class has been given. Is this going to be the big Diwali dhamaka? Is it going to be enough to not just turn the tide when it comes to the consumer sentiment, but also the voter sentiment? We'll talk about that, but first let's listen in to what the Prime Minister said when he didn't just urge people to go out there, to spend, to realize their dreams after the GST reforms, but also said that beginning now, India needs to push even harder to become Atmanirbhar.
नवरात्रि के प्रथम दिवस 22 सितंबर को सूर्योदय के साथ ही नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लागू हो जाएंगे। एक तरह से कल से देश में जीएसटी बचत उत्सव शुरू होने जा रहा है। इस जीएसटी बचत उत्सव में आपकी बचत बढ़ेगी और आप अपनी पसंद की चीजों को और ज्यादा आसानी से खरीद पाएंगे। हमारे देश के गरीब, मध्यम वर्गीय लोग, न्यू मिडिल क्लास, युवा, किसान, महिलाएं, दुकानदार, व्यापारी, उद्यमी, सभी को ये बचत उत्सव का बहुत फायदा होगा। मुझे इस बात की खुशी है कि दुकानदार भाई बहन भी जीएसटी रिफॉर्म को लेकर बहुत उत्साह में है। वो बहुत जीएसटी में हुई कटौती को ग्राहकों तक पहुंचाने में जुटे हुए हैं। बहुत सारी जगहों पर पहले और अब के बोर्ड लगाए जा रहे हैं। साथियों, हम नागरिक देवो भवः, नागरिक देवो भवः के जिस मंत्र के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म में इसकी साफ झलक दिखाई देती है। अगर हम इनकम टैक्स में छूट और जीएसटी में छूट को जोड़ दें तो एक साल में जो निर्णय हुए हैं उससे देश के लोगों को 2.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा की बचत होगी। और तभी तो मैं कह रहा हूं ये बचत उत्सव है। मैं देश के कोटि कोटि परिवारजनों को नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स की और इस बचत उत्सव की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। ये रिफॉर्म भारत की ग्रोथ स्टोरी को एक्सेलरेट करेंगे, कारोबार को और आसान बनाएंगे, निवेश को और आकर्षक बनाएंगे और हर राज्य को विकास की दौड़ में बराबरी का साथी बनाएंगे। दशकों तक हमारे देश की जनता, आप सभी लोग, देश के व्यापारी अलग अलग टैक्स के जाल में उलझे हुए थे। ऑक्ट्रॉय, एंट्री टैक्स, सेल टैक्स, एक्साइज, वेट, सर्विस टैक्स, न जाने भांति भांति के दर्जनों टैक्स हमारे देश में थे। कितने ही फॉर्म भरने पड़ते थे, कितनी सारी रुकावटें थी। हर जगह टैक्स के अलग अलग नियम थे। हमने हर स्टेक होल्डर से चर्चा की, हमने हर राज्यों की हर शंका का निवारण किया, हर सवाल का समाधान खोजा। सभी राज्यों को, सबको साथ लेकर आजाद भारत का इतना बड़ा टैक्स रिफॉर्म संभव हो पाया। ये केंद्र और राज्यों के प्रयासों का नतीजा था कि देश दर्जनों टैक्सों के जाल से मुक्त हुआ और पूरे देश के लिए एक जैसी व्यवस्था बनी। वन नेशन, वन टैक्स का सपना साकार हुआ।
In his 20-minute speech, the Prime Minister, of course, spoke of the short-term sweetener, at this time giving more money into the hands of the people, but also made a pitch for long-term plan at the back of tariff tensions with America. The PM said it's time to be Atmanirbhar, and the backbone of that will be the Swadeshi movement. Ensure that whatever you buy is made in India, and whatever can be manufactured in India should be manufactured in the country for us to be self-reliant.
जैसे स्वदेशी के मंत्र से ताकत मिली, वैसे ही देश की समृद्धि को भी स्वदेशी के मंत्र से ही शक्ति मिलेगी। आज जाने अनजाने हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में बहुत सी विदेशी चीजें जुड़ गई है, हमें पता तक नहीं है। हमारे जेब में कंघी विदेशी है कि देसी, हमें पता ही नहीं है। हमें इनसे भी मुक्ति पानी होगी। हम वो सामान खरीदें जो मेड इन इंडिया हो, जिसमें हमारे देश के नौजवानों की मेहनत लगी हो, हमारे देश के बेटे बेटियों का पसीना हो। हमें हर घर को स्वदेशी का प्रतीक बनाना है, हर दुकान को स्वदेशी से सजाना है। गर्व से कहो ये स्वदेशी है, गर्व से कहो मैं स्वदेशी खरीदता हूं।
Okay, Bachat Utsav has been heralded today by the Prime Minister, but who is going to be the happiest? A sweetener for everyone. Will it also sweeten the pot in election season? Rohan Gupta, spokesperson of BJP, joins us. Anshul Avijit, spokesperson of the Congress. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Professor Sajjan Kumar, political analyst. And we also have with us Mitali Nikore, global economist, with us in our studio. Let me start with you, Anshul Avijit, because you actually come from the state which is going to go first into elections. Sabka muh meetha hoga. और मुंह जब मीठा होगा वोटर का, तो उसके बाद वोट किसको डालेंगे?
You mean for the last 11 years our mouths were bitter? You know, every time the Prime Minister speaks, I mean, there's a height of skepticism, at least with me. Now it's peaked to mistrust, complete and absolute mistrust. One wonders, and Padmaja, that's a real question, what were you doing for 11 years? If at this point in time, you have to still reassure the people that there is hope in the economy, I mean, it must have been last 11 years must have been an absolute disaster, and it was. You threw the economy under the bus. If you remember, the UPA government gave you a healthy and robust GDP growth rate of about 8%. You tanked that, threw it on hot coals. It went down to 3.7% even before the pandemic. And after that, what happened, everyone knows. Month after month, year after year, Padmaja, the Prime Minister, with no knowledge of macroeconomics, has been single-handedly responsible for destroying the economy. And therefore, he has to come up with some words of hope. Now, after 11 years, for God's sake. Okay. I mean, there was demonetization. No, just let me come to that last point on GST. Demonetization, GST, it took you 7 years to do a GST reform and moderate and rationalize taxes. You destroyed the MSME sector. Now you're talking about MSMEs. You know how many? First of all, the MSMEs are not a monolith. They're divided into 3 sectors. The micro ones, which are maximum, about 6 crores of them, were completely destroyed. They had to down their shutters.
Okay, so let's take this one by one. Let's take this one by one. But on a lighter note, before I throw this open, Anshul Avijit, if with a bitter taste, the voters have given 11 years to the BJP, then with a sweetener, it should worry you a little bit. Now that a sweetener has been added, what are they going to do if bitterness led to this? But Rohan Gupta, and I want this to be a pleasant debate simply because today is Mahalay. Let's not fight each other on this day. At least we should also walk away with a sweet debate. Rohan Gupta.
It has to be sweet
event
always.
Bazi. Aam Aadmi Party has said event bazi. If this was already announced, why are you trying to make a whole event out of it when the rollout is tomorrow?
Because tomorrow is the first day of Navratri, and Pradhan Mantri has wished Navratri to all the Indians. So obviously it is event for us. हमारे लिए उत्सव है, पूरे देश के लिए उत्सव है, तो बचत उत्सव को हमको सबको साथ में मिलकर एंजॉय करना है. एंड आई थिंक यू हैव टेकन माय वर्ड्स, Padmaja, so I will blame you that I was about to ask that question. If with bitterness the BJP has been ruling the country for last 11 years, now imagine what will happen with the sweetness. And then Congress will complain for vote chori in BJP in Bihar and sit outside the office of Election Commission. So I can now foresee the future of Congress party after the Bihar results are declared. Never mind, as you have rightly told, it should be on a sweet taste. So today, Padmaja ji, the way Narendra Modi ji completely explained the philosophy of the government, how 25 crore people have been lifted out of poverty in last 11 years and new middle class has been created. And how lifting, giving the income tax benefits on middle class up to 12 lakh income. And how these two steps put together will put 2,50,000 crores in the economy. And how this 2,50,000 crore will support the Swadeshi movement. So it's a logical chain. This is not a haphazard thing. Pradhan Mantri ji is very, very clear कि जो देश में बन सकता है, हमको उसको देश में बनाना है. So the link between reduction in inflation, that is number one. If you see today, it is a historical low of 1.58%. None of the Congress government could achieve that. After that, giving this benefit to the people, the biggest GST reforms after the independence, and then taking it forward and joining the hands with the Swadeshi movement so that we are not dependent on the outside people for our growth. So this is called the overall developmental model which Modi ji has presented to the country.
Okay, let me ask you as an economist, Mitali Nikore, how much of it is really tangible, is going to affect people beginning tomorrow, or how much of it is creating a mahal, as a lot of the opposition is alleging? Mitali Nikore.
So I think, Padmaja, very honestly, what the Prime Minister said today is a culmination of several years of work that have happened, which have focused on ease of doing business, which have focused on, say, reducing logistics costs, which have focused on bringing investment into industrial areas. So it's not as though that this work has started just today. But today, what the Prime Minister has laid out is sort of an inflection point. Since the last 10 years, we've done a lot of work around attracting investment, around promoting our industry, around Make in India, around promoting manufacturing and also boosting services sectors. But now, today, we are at an inflection point where we are, looking at different geopolitical scenarios. We are being told there's a 50% taxes on, tariff on our exports, and we are being constrained from accessing global markets in a rules-based economic order. We thought we will be able to grow on the backs of a lot of our exports, which we aren't able to do. So in this scenario, it is incumbent upon the citizenry, in a way, to say, come forward, let's support Swadeshi, let's support the work that has been happening over the last year to strengthen the industry and create a demand for this Swadeshi product as well, and also kind of elevate that Swadeshi product, because there's an aspiration amongst the youth, there's an aspiration amongst all of us to buy the best possible products that we can afford in the market. But why can't those products be Indian? I'm wearing a chicken curry suit today, which has been entirely handmade in Lucknow. And at the end of the day, I think this is an aspirational product that all of us should be, looking forward to. So it is about supporting the Swadeshi movement in some ways.
But is it going to offset the impact, Tushar Gupta, of what Donald Trump is doing? Every day we hear horror reports that you've got, especially the textile industry, since Mitali Nikore mentioned chicken curry, the textile industry impacted, you've got shrimp exporters impacted, you've got workers who are now being threatened with being laid off. Is this call for Swadeshi enough to offset that?
Look, what Donald Trump is going to do or what he'll do in the future, the government of India has no control over it. The MSMEs have no control over it. These entire episodes, economic episodes, will play out as and when they happen. We cannot predict it ahead. But the Prime Minister is simply saying ahead of the festive season, go out and shop. The government has done its part. The last 11 years saw a lot of supply side reforms. The last financial year, the ongoing financial year rather, saw two big consumption boosts in the form of income tax cut and the GST reject. You have an inflation down to 2%. So the government is making it clear, go out and shop. Now, about the Swadeshi goods, look, there are a lot of FMCG shopping that happens around Diwali. There is a lot of automobile shopping that happens around Diwali, textile, of course, retail, e-commerce, everything. what the consumers at best can do, if they can find the best options in made in India goods, fine, go ahead with it. If the MSMEs want to cater to a new developing base, sure, go ahead with it. That is the whole balance we have to strike in the next few years, that there is an aspirational economy, there is an aspirational population that wants to splurge every year. You want to give them that options. The government has made enough reforms for the MSMEs, be the credit side, be the infrastructure side. So the MSMEs and the consumers will have to find the balance in between them. But the message today is very clear. Go out, shop, and as much as you can, shop Indian.
Anshul Avijit.
Yeah, no,
Nagrik
Padmaja.
Devo Bhava. And Nagrik includes everyone. It doesn't just include the well-heeled. This was a message to the person who is going to buy that 10 rupee tube of toothpaste to hair oil, to somebody who's going out and buying a car. Generally saying these are good times. जिसको कहते हैं कि अच्छा वक्त आ गया, अमृत काल. Anshul Avijit.
No, I'll try and be as sweet as possible in a moment of economic crisis, Padmaja. Look, first you create a problem, right? There is a serious consumer demand problem in India that we know. The Prime Minister, when he came to pass 11 years back, said that, manufacturing as a percentage of GDP will go up to 25%. It's barely cost 17%, which was the time of the UPA. So 11 years, you've actually not made any kind of headway. You start all these kind of, look, this kind of Swadeshi thing, this is not the national movement, right? The world has moved on from here. In 1991, in one moment, we did reforms which did away with debureaucratization and multiple other things. And the rewards were reaped not just by the Atal Bihari government, the UPA, where the GDP went up to 8%. The import substitution is one thing, but failure to implement the very things that you promote, lack of manufacturing, what China has done. You talk about China +1. I mean, you have no hope.
So you're saying basically this is window dressing. Whatever has been said today is all window dressing because you have a deeper
Not even that.
crisis.
I mean, after 11 years, Padmaja, if you have to say these words, can you imagine what's gone? You please give me an account of what's gone for the last 11 years if you have to say this now.
Okay, हर्षवर्धन जी 11 साल से कुछ किया नहीं. अब जब प्रॉब्लम है तो आप एक बहुत धमाकेदार बात करके कह रहे हैं कि भाई लोगों का मूड थोड़ा सा अच्छा हो जाए, पर जो डीप रूटेड प्रॉब्लम्स उनको एड्रेस नहीं किया गया है.
मुझे लगता है कि इस बात पर मैं सहमत हो जाऊंगा कि प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत सी हैं, बहुत डीप रूटेड प्रॉब्लम है. और एक शब्द इस्तेमाल किया अंशुल ने कि कंज्यूमर डिमांड नहीं है. ये ठीक बात है, पिछले कुछ टाइम से कंज्यूमर डिमांड स्लगिश थी, उसमें थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम थी. लेकिन जब हम कहते हैं कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए इस गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, यूपीए गवर्नमेंट ने चाइना का कट कॉपी पेस्ट करके एसईजेड पॉलिसी लेकर आए जिसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं थी, जो पूरी तरह से मतलब टोटली फेल्योर रही. इस सरकार ने इस बात को समझा, इस इशू को एड्रेस किया. वो पीएलआई स्कीम जो लेकर आई, आज भारत में उसकी वजह से देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में 1988 में फर्स्ट फैक्ट्री फॉक्सकॉन लगाती है चाइना में, और भारत में उसको आने में कितना समय लग जाता है. 2001 में चाइना में एप्पल में फुल फ्लेजेड प्रोडक्शन शुरू हो जाता है. 2004 के बाद जब अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी की सरकार ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के फ्रंट पे इतना कुछ करके दिया, 4 से 14 में वो क्यों नहीं हो पाया. 1980 में पहली सेमीकंडक्टर फैक्ट्री लगती है चंडीगढ़ में, उसके बाद क्यों सब बंद हो गई. आज 2021 में सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन शुरू होता है, 2023 में उसको स्टार्ट करते हैं, 2025 में हमारे पास 6 सेमीकंडक्टर फैक्ट्री. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में एडवांस जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल मिशन है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है, और उसके साथ एमएसएमई. मुझे लगता है जब प्रधानमंत्री ये कह रहे हैं तो इसको ध्यान देना चाहिए. और मैं एक बात को लेकर मुझे लगता है इसको अंडरलाइन करना चाहिए. फर्स्ट टाइम ये गवर्नमेंट भी पहली बार कर रही है कि जो हमने बेनिफिट दिया उसको रिसीविंग एंड तक पहुंचाना है, वो कंज्यूमर तक पहुंचना ही चाहिए. ये जो मॉनिटरिंग हो रही है कमाल की है. निर्मला सीतारमण ने कहा था, हम अपने एमपीज को कह रहे हैं कि आप अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में भी चेक कीजिए कि जो हमने टैक्स बेनिफिट दिया है वो पास ऑन करना है कि नहीं. और इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर प्रेशर बनाना इसलिए जरूरी है. आपका जो प्राइवेट कंजम्पशन और पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर का दोनों का प्राइवेट और पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर का जो रेशियो है वो लोएस्ट पर है. प्राइवेट फैक्ट्रीज, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट वो अपने पैसे नहीं निकाल रहे हैं. आपको वो लगाना जरूरी। सरकार ने तो 10 लाख करोड़ का कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर कर दिया। मुझे लगता है ये वो राइट टाइम है जब इंडस्ट्रीज को आगे आना पड़ेगा। प्राइम मिनिस्टर उसको फोर्स कर रहे हैं, जिसे एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं। और बचत उत्सव जब वो कहते हैं ज्यादा खरीदोगे तो ही बचत होगी, ये ध्यान में रहे। ये बचत
आपको
जो है
मैं सिंपली पूछूंगी, आज जो उन्होंने स्पीच दी है, क्या वो सिर्फ एक माहौल बनाने की कोशिश है जो कि अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम्स है उनको छुपाने के लिए, या फिर एक कल्मिनेशन है ऑफ स्टेप्स जैसा कि आपने कहा ओवर द लास्ट 11 इयर्स?
पद्मजा जी, भारत सरकार ने पिछले 10 सालों में सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो इश्यूज थे उनको एड्रेस करते हुए वो आगे बढ़े हैं। और आप उदाहरण के तौर पर
तो मतलब सच में उत्सव है, सिर्फ माहौल नहीं है।
उत्सव है, बिल्कुल उत्सव है। आप जरा सोचिए ना, कोई भी जो खरीदने जा रहा है, आपने जो अभी कहा ना कि टूथपेस्ट से लेकर और लग्जरी कार तक, किसी भी क्षेत्र में आप घूमने टहलने जाएं, आप कार खरीदने जाएं, आप घर का सामान खरीदें, आप आटा खरीदें, आप कुछ भी करें, उसमें आपको इतनी बड़ी छूट मिले। और एक बात और ध्यान रखिए, जब जीएसटी लागू हुआ था, इंप्लीमेंट हुआ था, तो इसलिए 4 स्लैब की जरूरत थी क्योंकि स्टेट्स के लिए रेवेन्यू का जरिया था। और 88,000 के एवरेज से 2 लाख प्लस के एवरेज पर हम हैं, ये कमाल की बात है, इसको भी जरा समझिए।
एंड ऑल्सो रिमेंबर इन 2018 itself, it should be underlined that Arun Jaitley had said in Parliament, this is the beginning. We are going to bring in reforms. It's not like there has been some major pushback or a sudden attempt has been made under pressure to bring in these reforms. Let's listen in before I go back to Anshul Avijit and also get in Sajjan Kumar and Tushar Gupta and Rohan Gupta back into the conversation. What has been said by the TMC and the Aam Aadmi Party, and how in reacting to today's announcement and today's speech, there is an inherent contradiction emerging within the opposition. Listen in.
इसके खिलाफ ममता बनर्जी आवाज उठाई, फिर पूरा देश में आवाज उठा, फिर ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मजबूर होकर ये पूरा रेट चेंज किया। अभी वो उसका क्रेडिट लेने का कोशिश कर रहा है। अब शुरू क्यों किया, चेंज करना पड़ा क्यों? क्योंकि आपका टैरिफ एंटी पीपल था और ममता बनर्जी और तृणमूल कांग्रेस पॉइंट आउट करके दिखा दिया आपको चेंज करना पड़ेगा, और आप लोग किया।
देखिए, लोग ये मान रहे थे कि प्रधानमंत्री जी जिस तरीके से अमेरिका ने भारत के ऊपर टैरिफ लगाए हैं, पेनल्टी लगाए हैं, और अभी H1B वीज़ा की फीस $1 लाख कर दी है, इसको लेके पूरे युवा जगत के अंदर पैनिक है। ऐसा लगता था कि वो इस विषय में बोलेंगे कि अमेरिका को कोई कड़ा संदेश दिया जाएगा, मगर जीएसटी की खबर तो बहुत पुरानी है। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी वैसे तो शाम को 8 बजे राष्ट्र के नाम संदेश देते थे, आज 5 बजे इसलिए दिया क्योंकि 8 बजे भारत पाकिस्तान का मैच है।
Okay, very quickly, 10 सेकेंड। हर्षवर्धन जी, रिएक्टिंग टू आम आदमी पार्टी।
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा टाइम मशीन में पीछे चल रहे हैं सौरभ भारद्वाज जी, क्योंकि जो कुछ भी था वो भारत के दबाव में, भारतीय कंपनियों के दबाव में H1B वीसा पर जो भी रूल थे उसको चेंज करना पड़ा। और एक बात समझिए, ट्रंप जो कुछ कर रहे हैं उसके लिए आप नरेंद्र मोदी को जिम्मेदार ठहराएं, ये ठीक बात नहीं है। नरेंद्र मोदी जो कर रहे हैं उसके लिए आप उनको जिम्मेदार ठहराइए और कहिए कि भाई साहब ये काम आप ठीक नहीं करते, इसको दुरुस्त कीजिए।
But Rohan Gupta, see, the larger narrative in the opposition is this, that you see there are some major troubled times looming ahead of us, so you want to give a little hope to the people. You keep talking about उत्सव क्योंकि बहुत gloom and doom आ रहा है। रोहन गुप्ता, can you hear me?
So there is some issue, I guess. Yeah. Can you just repeat, please?
Yes, my question was that, like the Aam Aadmi Party said, there are troubled times ahead, which is why we want to inject a little bit of cheer, knowing very well that this is not an utsav, that Donald Trump is turning the screws on you. He has, imposed that fine on H1B visas. Our trade deal is not coming through. So you are creating this entire, situation, this environment of utsav where there isn't really any.
See, this is icing on the cake. The Indian economy is robust today. We are 4th largest economy in the world in terms of GDP growth. Our GDP growth, the first quarter GDP growth, it beat the expectations and reached 7.8%. And that there are news that even if there are tariff ban, our economic growth can absorb that. So inflation is all-time low, which is 1.58%. You tell me the numbers, na? It cannot be just the claims. You have to support your claims with the numbers. So I think the opposition has completely lost the track. This government understands the sensitivity for the people. This government understands the pain of the common man, and that's why whenever possible passes on the benefits to the common man. That is what his government is doing. You see these GST collections are all-time high, Padmaja. So government decided why not to pass on benefits to the common man. All the
Anshul Avijit is countering with numbers
of GST.
He had numbers saying that 10 years you've got problems on your hand. Anshul Avijit countering with the numbers.
There's one bad data after another. I want to tell my friend Rohan that your FDI has been the lowest. It's sunk below 2%. At the time of the UPA, it was 3%, but I don't believe in comparing it. Let's take what Modi Sarkar has done in the last 11 years. Except high-frequency indicators, every other news is bad news. From MSMEs, you've got high rates of inflation. When real felt inflation, you go out and think and buy it. Rohan, just a minute. Let me just complete it. If everything coming out is bad news. Real wages have actually gone down in the non-farm sector. If there are no real wages, if there's no money in people's pockets, they have no jobs. Household savings are suffering. Household savings have been the lowest in the last 8 years. There's absolute gloom and doom everywhere. And उत्सव तो हम मना रहे हैं भाई. उत्सव कौन लोग मना रहे हैं? जिनके पास संपत्ति है और गैर बराबरी. मैं कह दूं एक बार और, मैं अपने मित्र से सहमत हूं. उत्सव मन रहा है सिर्फ उन लोगों के लिए जिनके पास धन और संपत्ति है, और गैर बराबरी और असमानता, अपनी वेशवाद जो कॉलोनियलिज्म के समय था उससे भी अब ज्यादा हो गया है. तो आप कहते रहिए कि 4th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी, बड़े बड़े शब्द कहते रहिए, सुर्खियों की बात होती है. असलियत में जाके देखिए यहां पर क्या हो रहा है. बिल्कुल बर्बाद कर दिया है. समझे नहीं, एक अनाड़ीपन था उनके पास. Economy की अर्थव्यवस्था की.
Okay, this is what we'll take forward. And now Anshul Avijit has come to the point, quickly reverting to Hindi because he knows that Bihar is the audience. सामंतवादी GST है ये. सिर्फ जो सूट की सरकार है उन्हीं को मिलने वाला है GST. Toothpaste, आप और हम, we will continue to pay 18% tax on it. Is it, Anshul Avijit? I have to take a very quick break at this point, but we'll come back because remember, this is now going to be the counter that you will hear what you just heard from Congress's Anshul Avijit. Who is it really going to benefit? Is everyone going to celebrate in this festival, in this Utsav, or only the friends and, the government and its friends? Quick break, back in a minute.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
गोल्ड क्लास ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ.
We see the problems, but you as a social entrepreneur see the solutions. You are not just creating solution, you are creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you. Green Talk Social Impact Awards 2025, coming soon.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम. डब्बा टेकिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है।
मैडम एक बात, खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
The world's defining stage. Leaders, visionaries, decision makers, confronting the challenges of our time.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने।
NDTV World Summit 2025, Edge of the Unknown, 17th to 18th October, only on NDTV.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Other opposition parties.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. Stop. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है। सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. And now, Aditya Rajkol begins a new chapter at NDTV.
Actually, I'm taking off because the stories I cover don't sit still. To bring the world to India and to take India to the world, I need to be where action is.
Aditya Rajkol, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
We see the problems, but you as a social entrepreneur see the solutions. You are not just creating solution, you are creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you. Green Talk Social Impact Awards 2025, coming soon.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा टेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए ये तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities.
Welcome back. A speech by the Prime Minister on the rollout of GST 2.0 reforms, dubbed as Bachat Utsav by the PM when he spoke to the country for just about 20 minutes at the kickoff of the festive season. And now the reactions from the opposition have naturally started rolling in. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge saying 900 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज को चली, basically saying that all this while an inefficient GST had bled people, had destroyed the economy, had wreaked havoc on industry, on MSMEs, and now after all of this, these measures are only like putting band-aid on a cancer, simply saying that all of this doesn't mean anything after the last 8 years, a view that's also been echoed by the left. Let's listen in to D. Raja.
PM addressed the nation just on the 5 PM right now. He said that tomorrow it will be celebrated as a next generation GST Utsav budget. So what's your comment on that?
When the GST was debated in Parliament, discussed in Parliament, I was in Parliament. I gave a dissent note also because there were so many anomalies, so many lapses, and I anticipated it would snatch away the powers of the state, it would betray the states to get their due share, everything. Now, finally, after all resistances, protests, finally government has agreed for some changes in GST. They announced. Now the question is, number one, whether it will bring down prices, particularly of essential commodities, which are used by common people. Number two, what is the share the state governments will get? Because after all, India is a federal country. India, that is Bharat, a union of states. And states must have their fiscal power, financial power.
Okay, so the opposition pretty much making 4 allegations here. One, that what the Prime Minister has said is like putting band-aid on cancer. 2, the measures will only benefit the rich and powerful. 3, the government is trying to offset the gloom after arm twisting by Donald Trump and various measures, various strictures put by his government. And 4, of course, that the government finally buckled under Rahul Gandhi's pressure. So, answer this. Rohan Gupta, that's what Anshul Avijit also alleged before we took a break. ये सिर्फ सूट बूट की सरकार है, सूट बूट की मदद करती है, सूट बूट को खुश रखती है, सूट बूट का उत्सव है.
देखिए, उन्होंने आर्थिक असमानता की बात की। आपने बोला तो मैं भी थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलूं। सबको मिठाई बांटनी है तो हिंदी मुझे भी थोड़ा बोलना पड़ेगा। तो एक जीनी इंडेक्स होता है विच इज पब्लिश्ड बाय वर्ल्ड बैंक, विच इज द मेजरमेंट ऑफ इनइक्वालिटी, एंड नाउ इंडिया इज ऑन 4th place, in terms of minimum income inequality, and the Gini index has reduced from 28.8 to 25% from Congress time to BJP time. So I think when you talk about numbers, let us talk about numbers. The inequality has decreased. The GDP has increased. The per capita GDP has increased. India is 4th largest economy. The inflation is going down. The bank rates are going down. So what are you complaining about? You cannot be talking in theory. You have to talk in practice. And again, I am telling you, even if there are good times, government wanted to ensure that after GST expectations, they really exceeded the government projection. Government decided to pass on benefit to the common man. And that's what is done. And why? How are you saying it is not reaching common people? All the people are reducing the prices, whether it is two-wheelers, four-wheelers, essential commodities. 95% of the essential commodities and 5% slab, and every manufacturer is reducing the price every day. So how can you say that benefit is not passing to common man or middle class? I agree you have to do your politics, it is your compulsion, but at least some steps which absolutely inequally we know that this is going to benefit the common man. You should not oppose that, because you are losing your credibility day after day, and then you will complain about vote chori. And don't link it with Bihar or any state. This is for all Indians. And I really welcome this Bachat Utsav. Tomorrow is the start of Navratra. This is the beginning. And Pradhan Mantri ji, by linking it to Swadeshi, he wanted to ensure when the prices are going down, the benefits are going to our SME and the small and medium manufacturers who are Indians.
Nikhil Jain, you constantly talking about gloom and doom makes you again sound like that phrase popularized by Jaitley, compulsive cynics.
Padmaja, many years ago, there was a movie called Three Idiots, and there Amir Khan, the character of Amir Khan, narrates a story about how there was a watchman in his growing up in his colony, who was a blind watchman and kept on saying, "All is well, all is well." BJP ki wahi aadat ban chuki hai. The problem with the BJP is that they are never willing to see that wealth inequality in India is at a very high level as it was during the during the colonial administration. There are a number of problems. Nobody is saying that we are not a growing country, we are not a developing country. Of course we are. Year after year we grow, and that is what is expected out of us. What we need to talk about is whether the rate of growth under this government is more or less than the rate of growth under the Congress government.
The funny thing is, Nikhil Jain, you keep saying all is not well, but TMC is saying all is well, and it's all is well thanks to us. So you have to first decide that is this a good thing or not, because the TMC insists it's a good thing, but it's a good thing because of them.
Padmaja, I'll be very fair. I'll say all is not well, and ऐसा भी नहीं है कि कुछ भी गलत नहीं ये बन नहीं रहे. But what I wanted to say was, it's not like everything is right. It's not like everything is wrong. There's always a middle. Many things are wrong. Many things are right. Fact of the matter is, the point that we need to discuss is whether this government is doing a better job than the previous government, and the clear answer to that is no.
How?
So far as the GST reforms are concerned,
they are GST. They have ensured savings. How is it not doing a better job?
Yes, the GST reforms that the government has brought in a couple of days ago, they are a step in the right direction. The problem is it is too little too late. They were the ones who messed up a lot of things, and now they've fixed some of those things.
Okay, and now they come around and say, the problem is too little too late. So you have managed to find the cloud in the silver lining.
No. I'll tell you what. When the GST was first introduced, many top economists in the world said that we should have only one or two slabs, right? And that was the broader political consensus and the idea behind GST as well. But what did we have? We had 4 primary slabs. And if you
but Nikhil Jain, as things stand right now, as a political analyst, how do you analyze the politics of this? Now, as a consumer, if I'm saving 100 rupees, I am not going to think, why didn't I save this 100 rupees 8 years earlier? I am simply going to think, great, 100 rupees more in my pocket, I am very happy. Politically,
Padmaja,
this is a sweetener.
Padmaja, I hope you and I as consumers are able to benefit from this GST reduction, because very often we have seen that whichever government reduces taxes, corporates have a tendency to not pass it along. And what you need for that
is say that, because as of today morning, I personally saw at least 12 advertisements in our newspapers with FMCG companies, auto companies, companies which sell things like basic goods, which people need. Hair oil, toothpaste, sweets, toys, announcing this is the rate cut that we are going to ensure. And they've announced it today itself. So any of those fears would again go back to my earlier argument. Are you being compulsive cynics?
No, we're not being compulsive cynics. It's simply the fact that the GST, despite these reforms, is still very complicated because if you account for the cesses that are there in GST, you still have 28 effective slabs. That may be very surprising for a lot of people to hear. We do have 3 primary slabs, but the rate of effective taxation, you also have to account in for the different cesses.
Okay,
and there are many
just
cesses.
So many problems that you've pointed out, but I think one that is common between you and Anshul Avijit is that saying there is income disparity. When you keep talking about festivities, is it really going to benefit the person who the BJP, the government, was trying to reach out to? Tushar Gupta wants to respond to that, but before that, a very quick break. Tushar, I'm coming to you in a minute.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out there.
Gold Plus Clear Glass. Par ho ya near, sab kuch dikhe clear.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Other opposition parties. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. Stop. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold ICICI for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है। सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। NDTV इंडिया पर।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. And now, Aditya Rajkol begins a new chapter at NDTV.
Actually, I'm taking off because the stories I cover don't sit still. To bring the world to India and to take India to the world, I need to be where action is.
Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
We see the problems, but you as a social entrepreneur see the solutions. You are not just creating solution, you are creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you. Green Talk Social Impact Awards 2025, coming soon.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है।
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire dabba trading scam.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out there.
Gold Plus Clear Glass.
Welcome back. The Prime Minister announcing the Bachat Utsav beginning tomorrow with the rollout of GST reforms. The Congress and the opposition, though, are countering it, trying to create the narrative that this is an unnecessary effort to try and take credit for what was in the works for a very long time. It has been decided by the GST Council, which comprises of all the states, the finance minister of all the states. And more importantly, the question being asked by the Congress also, will this benefit really percolate down to the last person down the line? That's it then from me on this edition. I will see you tomorrow at 9 on the Buck Stops here.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Other opposition parties. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है, सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. And now, Aditya Rajkol begins a new chapter at NDTV.
Actually, I'm taking off because the stories I cover don't sit still. To bring the world to India and to take India to the world, I need to be where action is.
Aditya Rajkol, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
We see the problems, but you as a social entrepreneur see the solutions. You are not just creating solution, you are creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you. Green Talk Social Impact Awards 2025, coming soon.
Hello and welcome. This is a special presentation here on NDTV 24/7. The day is finally here and the countdown is almost over in just about an hour from now. The biggest rivalry in the world of cricket, it takes center stage. India versus Pakistan, round
two of the battle, yes?
Round two. But this clash, it is not just about runs and wickets, because it never is. The tension has already spilled beyond the boundary ropes, from the no handshake gate to threats of a mid-tournament boycott by Pakistan, from their refusal to face the media to the war of words raging off the field. This is a contest that is already charged with drama before even a ball is bowled.
Yes, and it is match day on NDTV 24/7, and this is the match that makes it a super Sunday for all of you. It's India versus Pakistan round 2. Last Sunday, India beat Pakistan by 7 wickets. In fact, Pakistan has not won the last 6 matches against India. Desperate times ask for desperate measures, don't they?
Absolutely.
Osama? And we shall talk about those, and also how Shubman Gill as well as Abhishek Sharma went into a tinkering lab when the world was not watching.
In fact, on the show, we build up to what promises to be another blockbuster. Can India hold their unbeaten streak? Can Pakistan rise above the chaos and deliver on the pitch? And what does this mean beyond cricket?
Well, the rivalry resumes. The stage is set. The world is watching, everyone. We shall first up on the show hear Surya Kumar Yadav on what he had to say about cutting out the noise ahead of this big match.
Close your room, switch off your phone and sleep. I think that's the best. See, it's easy to say, but sometimes it is difficult because you meet a lot of friends. You go out for dinner, and you have a lot of players also around who like to see all these things. So it's very difficult, but then it's on you. What you want to listen to, what you want to have in your mind, and go on and have a practice session or go on and have play a game. But I have been very clear with all the boys. I think it's very important if you want to do well this tournament and going forward. We will have to shut a lot of noise from outside and take what is good for you. I'm not saying shut the noise completely, but take what is good for you. I mean, someone can give you a good advice as well, which can help you in the game, which can help you on the ground. So I think that is very important for me, and rest I feel everyone is good, in good space.
Well, a lot of interesting things said by the captain of India. Indeed. And we'll try and decode what exactly he meant by cutting out the noise. Joining us as usual, Nikhil Chopra, former India cricketer, joining us on the broadcast at this moment. We'll also be joined by former India captain Azharuddin in just a short while from now. We also will be joined by NDTV's own Boria Majumdar. Nikhil bhai, to you first. We heard what Surya said. You heard what Sky said about cutting out the noise. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it gets really tough. You know, those are the days when we played in the late 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s. We didn't have the pressure of social media. I mean, you could literally, like he said, switch off your phone at that moment in time. Don't listen to news or don't switch on the television, and you could probably shut out that noise, but not today. Because you've got social media. As soon as you switch on your phones, there are notifications coming. Like he also said, friends, family, they want to know exactly, try and get inside your head as well, want to know what's happening. It gets much tougher, but then at the end of the day, these guys are all professionals. They know how to get into the zone 24 hours prior to the game as well. And just think about their processes, not being looking to control their result. And things will fall in place. I mean, that's why these are world-beating professional players and match winners.
Nikhil, good evening. Desperate time asks for desperate measures, and I believe one of the desperate measures that we saw from the Pakistan cricket team was having their board chairman in the middle at the practice session a day ahead of the match. First, what did you understand of that whole scene, Mohsin Naqvi meeting the team? Was he there as the Asian Cricket Council boss, PCB boss, or Pakistan's interior minister? In what role was he there?
I don't think he was there as the ACC head. I think it's more as the head of the Pakistan Cricket Board, and of course, you know, it's a celebrated post that Pakistan Cricket Board chief is also, at the end of the day, a politician as well. So this is his opportunity to try and tell the world that he's also a politician from Pakistan as well. But to be honest, in between the side and with what's happened in the last 1 week or so, Rika, I don't know how the players would be looking to take it. I hope from his side, so that we get probably a more competitive sort of game. His presence will not add to the pressure. And I mean, if it does, I guess Salman Agha will have to go out there and look to lead from the front to try and make sure that dressing room is calm, and maybe Mike Hassan does whatever he possibly can do to take some of the pressure off the guys as well, because not too long ago, if you remember that game, I think it was against Oman or UAE, where Pakistan were going to play, then not going to play, then that whole game was delayed. So probably trying to just tell them, forget about that game at the end of the day, for them to keep on going in the tournament. This is a big game for them.
So Nikhil, you are saying that this is not going to add pressure on Pakistan, but we heard yesterday that the Pak team has got a mind doctor ahead of the game to be able to deal with the pressure of
I'm saying that his
clash.
presence will add more pressure to the team. Make no mistake about it. Until unless he comes up and says, listen guys, go out there and do your best and forget about the result. Then that's a different case and scenario.
You know, I just want to add to that question. You know, there has been so much talk around the India-Pakistan match, the first match and after that match, before this particular match. You know, there were no handshakes, there were boycott threats, etc., etc. We understand that these players, you know, there are going to be a lot of people talking to these players, guiding them, telling them what exactly to do and what not to do. But, you know, for somebody who has been there in the dressing room, Nikhil bhai, how does it affect the players? And I want to understand, how does it affect the Pakistan players more in this particular case?
Well, you know, we all know, and we've been saying this right from the start of the Asia Cup, that the Pakistan team is going through that transition phase. If you look at the number of match winners that they've got vis-a-vis Team India, you probably barely see one or two even on their best day. So they have pressure in any case. When you're playing international cricket, and especially in such a high, you know, emotional game, high voltage game, you need some experience to actually how to shut out that noise, and how do you feed the energy from maybe 30,000 people sitting in the Dubai International Stadium. You know, those are things, those are experiences that count as well. So make no mistake, I guess every single player in that Pakistan dressing room will be feeling the heat and would be under pressure. Make no mistake about it.
Yep. Let's also get in Boria Majumdar into the conversation. Boria is there getting us all the details from the ground itself. Boria, you know, there has been, like I said, a lot of conversation around this particular match. What I want to understand from you is this far more than a cricket match that is being played out in Dubai between India and Pakistan at this point of time?
Absolutely. There's no question that this is far more than a cricket match that's being played out there. If you see the entire build-up against the backdrop of what has happened, Pakistan getting beaten comprehensively, the whole handshake gate controversy, Pakistan's lies against Andy Pycroft getting exposed, then their entire frustration building, they wanted to withdraw from the Asia Cup, they wanted Andy Pycroft to be thrown out, thereafter they went and leaked that video of that meeting with Andy Pycroft, and thereafter this particular game when their board chief or the ACC chief lands up in their practice. This is not a normal cricket game. It cannot be a normal cricket game. Dubai police sends multiple security advisories. You cannot take the flags, you cannot take a camera, the flag handle, you cannot take the shank. For example, I'm giving Sudhir's example. He actually keeps his shank in my car. Every time he goes in, he keeps his shank in my car. Nothing is allowed. So you understand that the entire atmosphere, it's like a volcano waiting to erupt. It is not a cricket game. Everyone is tense. Everyone is tense that this match should just get over. Something untoward should not happen.
Boria, we do understand that you're in the middle of the cauldron, you're picking up a lot of noise, but what do you think of Mohsin Naqvi's visit to the Pakistani camp just a day ahead of the match?
I said this on my show yesterday, I said it on NDTV also. I don't think Mohsin Naqvi coming to the Pakistan press conference, Pakistan practice rather, sends the right signal. It doesn't, and I'll explain why. Which Mohsin Naqvi was there? Past PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi, ACC chairman Mohsin Naqvi, Home Minister Mohsin Naqvi. If it was the PCB chief, it's okay. But if it's with the ACC chief, then India was also practicing there. Was a message sent to India that the ACC chief has come and he's come here to greet Pakistan? Will he greet India? Whether India would want to meet him or not is a different matter. But had he come as ACC chief, should he have sent that message is the question. Coming to the Pakistan practice, he went and met the players. We all always keep saying it, and it's not me saying, that you try and insulate the players from the pressure. You keep cocoon themselves from the pressure so that the pressure doesn't get to them. Here, Mohsin Naqvi's presence is a clear indication that it's a different cricket game. Will he come ahead of the Bangladesh game? Will he come ahead of the Sri Lanka game? He will not. He has come ahead of an India game against the backdrop of Pakistan having lost to India. So this is clearly an indication that he's put pressure back on Pakistan, and after when he came, Pakistan did not even practice. So you realize that their practice was also wasted because of what happened. So I think it's a jury is out because we have to see how Pakistan plays, but his presence could have just added to the pressure that is already humongous on Pakistan.
Right. I also want to understand because India is pretty much in a comfortable position at this point of time. They have a good team. They on paper, off paper, they have been delivering on the field. Everything's going well for India. So the pressure, it is
on Pakistan.
It is actually more on Pakistan at this point of time. And is the reason why I want to ask Nikhil bhai on this entire thing. Do you feel that Pakistan will be under more pressure to win this match than India? I mean, of course, when it comes to an India-Pakistan match, every single player there on the field or sitting in the dugout, they would want to win it, either whether it is the Indian players, whether it is the Pakistan players. But at this point of the tournament, with so much noise, will Pakistan be more desperate to win this?
Yeah, without a doubt, Osama. Say, with whatever has happened, if that hadn't happened, in any case, India-Pakistan game, the first thing you automatically think about is trying to do a result. That's one game we want to win. And with the kind of side that they saw India being clinical, winning the game with that sort of margin, and the entire Pakistan team going through that transition phase, and after that series of events with what all has happened, Pakistan, threatening to pull out, then looking to play, getting on the bus, not getting on the bus, and now this time around, of course, you're going to be playing the same team that beat you comprehensively with that sort of margin. So they'll be feeling the heat, and all the more reason they'd be looking to win that game. And that's when you make more mistakes, when you're looking to control the result, when you're looking to get away from your processes. Right. That's when, as an athlete, you make more mistakes in your game. So yeah, to answer your question, they'll be looking to win this game, make no mistake about it.
Go ahead.
Nikhil bhai, just a very short question. Who do you think is going to make more mistakes today?
That's a trick question.
That is a trick question.
Which Pakistani player? I mean, you have a look at the